Yeah, I think that we created a fair bit at the start of the game. You know, we needed to cash in on a couple of those points. Defence was excellent. The effort and the energy around the game was really good, but too many small errors, whether they be at the line-out at key moments or in discipline at key moments, cost us and released the pressure valve that we had on the opposition. You know, it's one penalty is the end score, or two if you want to win the game. So I think that we released the build-up of pressure that we built from defence. We released by either infringing or losing ball at the line-out.
In terms of that streak, 10 years, I know that the players, you don't like to dwell on that past, but how does that sit with you now that that's done?
It's irrelevant, to be honest. It's about this game only. It's not. It's got nothing to do. Like, that stuff's got no bearing on what happens today. And as I've always said, you know what I mean. There's no bearing in any of the games that come up. You know.
The decision to go for a try twice early in that second half. You regret that, or how do you feel?
Yeah, if I had my time again, I would have gone for the shot. Yeah, backed our guys, backed the want to get the try and keep the foot on, but probably my reading of the game there was a miss with, it was going to come down to penalties in the end. Not hindsight's obviously a nice factor, but I should have gone for goal.
You did appear 2 points on the second one to this goal. What happened in the moments after that to change your mind?
Went for touch.
You just changed your mind, or did you have a chat with somebody about it?
Decided to go for touch.
What's the feeling around how the game plan was working?
In what regard?
Like, you guys obviously like to play that fast, light style. Warren was saying it's the most comfortable he's felt defending Australian team.
Oh, well, he'll get a chance to defend us again in about 10 months' time. So we'll see how we go.
Just what kind of effect, if any, you think this could have on your World Cup meeting with Wales?
I don't think any, but everyone's got a different opinion on that stuff. Well, my opinion on rugby is that when you get to the game, it's no one's thinking about what happened 10 years ago, 1 minute ago. You're thinking about what you're going to do for the next 80 in that individual moment. And yes, it's in our nature to want to look at how this could affect that and the knock-on, like it's a big game of dominoes, but it's not really. You just turn up, kick off, and it's on for 80. So when that game happens, it will be an individual moment of itself, and it's about whoever will be best on the day.
Michael Cheika at Wales, what were your thoughts on that performance and how that's maybe changed from previous years?
No, I actually think they're pretty similar. There's strong defence, kicked a fair bit. They kicked back to us a fair bit. I think they made probably a couple of good decisions. We made a couple of poor decisions at key moments, and I'm not talking about whether we went for goal, and I'm talking about in play. And didn't execute a couple of key moments at line-out time and released the pressure valve on the opposition.
Has everyone pulled up okay?
Yeah, physically there's no injuries, yeah. So we came up. Okay.
Burns for bang on the head.
Who, sorry?
Burns for-
No.
You must be happy with Tolu and missed that one at the end.
Well, look, mate, I've been a big supporter of Tolu, even when he's been on the... He wasn't getting picked at the Waratahs this year. I'm a big believer in what he can bring. It's about bringing more discipline into his... When I say that, I mean more routine, etc., into the way he prepares. And, his sort of lifestyle around the game, which he's trying to do. And when he does that, he's a very, very good weapon, as you can see on the field. And that's why I picked him, you know what I mean?
You speak about it regularly with David Pocock.
Yeah.
Again, huge influence, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, outstanding. We've copped it in the neck a fair bit this year about our defence, and we've worked very, very hard to improve it, led with David sort of leading that part of the game for us. And not only is he leading in organising, but he's also leading on the field with the way he approaches it. So he's obviously won the John Eales medal, so he's had a great year last year, and he's continuing on with that form now. Yeah, I thought he was good for the first. He's probably got a bit tired towards the end. I probably needed to maybe get him off the field a little earlier, but I just was, because we made a fair few replacements by that stage, just wanted to hold fire, looking at a few possible injuries we had at that time. So I think it was a pretty good comeback in. He's not going to be like right back at it, I'd say, for another few games. Unfortunately, the season ends then, but we'll persevere with him because we know the quality he brings.
How do you approach the next 2 games to make a few changes? Obviously, with England.
We'll look at the next. We've had some ideas in our head of what we want to do for the next game or on the tour as a whole around getting players games, and there's some players who have been pushing hard for selection. So we'll assess that after we have a look at the game and see exactly what we need for next week. But there are a lot of things from this game I want to make sure players, in their disappointment, players take with them into next week, because there's a lot of very, very good work around the effort of the team, the work ethic, the physicality, and also the defensive side of the game. So. Well, you've got to, you just got to trust more. So, is there any ones in particular you're talking about? Decisions under pressure, or?
Yeah, just decisions tactically and
Well, the goals are just decisions you make. They're not tactical or strategic. You know what I mean? It's just a decision you make according to the flow of the game. Michael's already spoken about that. Little things like. I think even at the end there where Robs feels like he's getting held up and he wants to offload that ball, just keep it. If he gets held up and it's a scrum, we'll just defend. That's what we back your D, and that's what we were doing all game. And they made a couple of line breaks, I think, but not too many. So we were enjoying defending. If that's what happens, just stay there. And then a silly penalty off the back of that. He could have easily moved out of the way there. So we've got to be. That's the simple decisions you got to come to trust in everything you're doing.
Will any of the selection plan you have for next week be impacted by a loss?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, in terms of a message to Australian fans who might be losing faith, a year out from the World Cup, it's 10 losses now from the last 13 starts. How do you respond to that?
How do I respond to what? If they're losing faith?
Yeah.
Mate, all I can do about that is keep the guys, get the guys improving on the things that we didn't do well today. And I know we'll get a different... And there wasn't a lot of them. It was obviously a tight game. Wales are a good team. They're ranked third in the world for a reason. So it was always going to be tight. Every game we played against them has been relatively tight over this last period. So this one went against us. And, those things have happened to us this year. It hasn't always gone for us. And you've got to take that on the chin. And you've got to understand what you're doing well. And also improve the things, which I think I've articulated here, that we didn't do well today. Improve those for next week and get a win. And then if people are losing faith, rebuy a bit of that or get a bit of that back with a good performance next Saturday. Yeah, disappointed about those penalties, yeah. They were called from the touch judge. Brendan Pickerel called all of them. So we asked what was happening there when we were clearly dominating in the scrum. So, look, sometimes that's the way it goes. Well, what can you do?
There's plenty to play for us. We're 14 games out, from a final next year. So there's obviously some real improvement. There's some nice things we're doing in there. We love playing. While we're here, we love playing for our country. And today was a fantastic opportunity for us to go out in front of a hell of a lot of people and play our game. Look, we didn't get to really launch our attack, but I thought our guys stepped up and defended outstandingly throughout that whole game with no tries. Which would be a while since we've done that. So that's a real improvement for us. And building on that and unleashing what we can do is always, the carrot there at the end of the tunnel.